Yo, welcome to another episode of the Give and Go podcast. This is a very special episode because for the first time in quite some time, we are here live in studio, in the booth, with my boy Jordan Taylor.
Does my 400 square foot studio count as a booth now?
This is the booth. This is basically the size of an actual booth, so we good.
It's good to have you back in Vancouver, my man.
Yeah,
Every
man.
episode of the Give and Go podcast is a special episode. So even more special that we don't have to do extra editing to our sound quality for this one.
Yeah, we're not recording phone conversations and editing it in sound and ad-libs. We can do this thing live. So this should be a smoother episode for the listeners.
Smooth like peanut butter.
That's right, man.
Not
so,
crunchy.
Jordan, the first thing I want to talk about, the news that came out about LeBron James, not on the court, but off the court. He will be now lead actor in the brand new sequel to Space Jam. It'll be Space Jam 2.
To be released 2021. Mark it on your calendars, kids. LeBron James going to be starring in the new Space Jam 2 movie.
So why do you think he did this? Is this specifically just because Jordan did Space Jam 1? Do you think that is the sole reason and motivating factor here for LeBron James to do Space Jam 2, Jordan?
100%. This defines his career.
Yeah.
It's not about the stats.
No.
It's not about the rings.
Nope.
It's about which Space Jam movie was better.
Yup.
And that will define whether LeBron James is the GOAT of basketball.
Yeah, because people want to talk LeBron versus Jordan, and don't forget Kobe. Kobe stans will never let you take him out of the conversation. So I'm waiting to hear back about the Space Jam 3 release featuring Kobe Bryant. That's what I'm waiting for.
Space Jam 3 featuring Kobe Bryant. Oh my god.
Hey man, he got an Oscar already. He's I'm throwing his name into this conversation here.
Yeah, Space Jam 3 is going to win an Oscar.
All
Alright, I got one for you then.
Okay.
I guess me speaking, just watched the original Space Jam a while ago. Just to get myself acclimatized and reassessed with the landscape of such a great movie from the 90s.
Right.
My childhood, your childhood.
Of course.
So there was 5 particular NBA athletes that were used. Of course, the Monstars stole their talent
Yep.
in the movie. I want you to find replacements for these athletes from the 90s with current athletes from today. And I want you to give me your best replacement. So who should be in LeBron's Space Jam 2 movie if it was the exact same type of situation where talent was being stolen to play a basketball game?
All right. Well, list them off one by one.
All right.
I'll pick my replacement in today's NBA.
So number 1, I think this one should be pretty easy for everybody. Muggsy Bogues.
Right.
Who's going to replace Muggsy Bogues in the new one?
Well, honestly, you gotta have somebody with a little bit of spunk. You gotta have, some acting flair. And Nate Robinson comes to mind. I know he's not in the NBA currently, but he did that Uncle Drew movie, and he did a great job in that one.
I go the retired venue.
Yeah,
right?
I could see Nate Robinson playing that role for sure.
I was thinking Isaiah Thomas. I was thinking
Yeah.
because he played with LeBron, there could be some humor that they could play on there. He is a diminutive point guard, has overcome a lot of obstacles, very similar to Muggsy Bogues' career. And, coming back from that hip injury, I think it would just be nice to see him in the film.
I think, I don't know. I'm not sure how likable of a character he is, though. I know Muggsy Bogues is very likable.
Very
And
likable.
Isaiah Thomas, he got a little salty at the end there. He's talking about rolling up Brinks trucks and getting all arrogant. I'd like to see little Nate jump in that role. So,
Hey man, money's money. I think if he's playing at a high level, he should get paid.
for sure. All right, who's next?
Next, the round mound of rebound himself, Sir Charles Barkley. Who should replace Chuck for the new Space Jam 2 movie?
Man, you got to throw Draymond Green in this movie.
Oh.
He will bring the drama. He'll bring that round mound of rebound. I
That
think
history with LeBron James.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great replacement in that movie. And you know what? It's all about the drama, man. Draymond loves to talk, and I can see him having a nice acting career.
Michael Jordan being the reason that Charles Barkley did not win a NBA championship when they met in the finals in Phoenix in 1992. That's a good pick. My pick there was a little bit more of a today's NBA game style. I was thinking Blake Griffin.
Okay, yeah.
Blake Griffin's been talking about wanting to be in the movie.
Has he? Okay.
High flying dunker, you know.
Blake's a funny guy.
And he's a funny guy.
Yeah, Blake's a funny dude.
All right. So moving over now, we're going to find a center. You got to find me a Patrick Ewing replacement.
Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
It's got to be Dwight Howard. Drop the rebound.
Now, he's a little washed up now, but I would agree with you maybe 5-10 years ago if this was announced. Dwight Howard would be a perfect pick for that role.
Dwight would be a funny guy. I can see him in that role just playing like the, Patrick Ewing, body twitching, just trying to get some rebounds, get some buckets, man. I can see Dwight doing well in that role.
Yeah, you know what? I guess if I've already called out Blake Griffin here, I don't want to maybe put 2 Detroit Pistons on there, but maybe even going back to New York, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
Or, Andre Drummond. One of these bigger, more dominant center guys. Or even, a Cat would be a good one now.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns would be good for that. Get a young guy in there.
He's a little quiet for my likings. I don't know, man.
How many lines did Patrick Ewing have?
I want drama.
He had 5 lines. You can't share the spotlight with everybody.
Oh, man.
All right, next one. Sean Bradley.
Yeah.
One of the tallest NBA players to play the game.
Yo, this one's obvious.
I think so.
We got to go with the big friendly giant, Boban.
Yes, sir.
Boban Marjanovic, man. You got to get Bobby in there to play that Sean Bradley giant role.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think we agree on that one for sure.
Definitely. All right, and then the last one is Larry Johnson, the ex-power forward of the Charlotte Hornets. Very dominant player back in the 90s. Who would be your Larry Johnson replacement?
Larry Johnson. I don't know. Who do you have for this one, man?
Yeah, you know what? After you said Draymond Green for Charles Barkley, I may want to just jump my pick and say, yes, pick Draymond Green for Chuck and then move my Blake Griffin pick over for Larry Johnson.
I kind of like that, too. I kind of like that, too. So,
what's with the no guards, though? I think there's going to be a lot more guards in Space Jam 2 than there is Space Jam 1.
I'd love to see Steph Curry in it.
I think Steph
would be great. I feel like you got to get some of these big stars, you got to get James Harden in there. James Harden would be hilarious in a movie like this, especially after his Foot Locker commercials.
That's right.
James Harden, he can act, man. The dude can act.
You got the State Farm ones too. I don't know how great those are.
He's been around the Kardashians long enough. He knows how to be in front of a camera.
He's got connections. All right, so we've talked about all the players that we want to replace and maybe people we want to put in there from a guard perspective. We've seen the 90s NBA when it was very big man, power forward, strong center dominant, shift to where it is today with very quick guards with very good handles and high shooting percentages. Any sleeper or any other cameo you would like to see in Space Jam 2 from an NBA player's perspective?
It would be interesting to maybe have some switch ups. I'd love to see Kevin Durant come into the game. But he shows up on the Monstars team. And he signs with them as a free agent. That's his next destination. You got Kevin Durant pulling up from 3, playing with the Monstars against LeBron James.
You know what? I would love that storyline. I think that'd be quite entertaining.
I think that'd be hilarious. LeBron's out here trying to recruit players. He's trying to recruit KD, and then KD just goes missing, and then he comes back day of the game. And coming through that tunnel with the Monstars.
High, hit him high, hit him high, hit him high.
The snake.
Hit him low, hit him low, hit him low.
Kevin Durant. I think that'd be great. That'd be a great storyline.
I love that.
I can see it.
That's good. That's really good. I think my only other one I want to see is what you mentioned earlier. I want Kobe in this movie.
Kobe, yeah.
I want Kobe to be like the Bill Murray. So he comes in at the last 5 minutes, game winner or hits, he's always been a rival of LeBron. It always has been, Michael, Kobe, and then Kobe, LeBron. So that transition period there might be nice to have.
Yeah.
What about Michael Jordan? Should he make a cameo in Space Jam 2?
I think he'd have to. I think he's got to. I think the Looney Tunes come to Mike first. I think they come to Mike like, Mike, you got to save us again. And then that's where he passes on the torch.
You know what? That's crazy. Michael Jordan would never pass on the torch. He'd just be like, all right, I'm in it. Let's play.
Yeah, y'all don't need LeBron. I got this.
He can still dunk. It's fine. It's fine.
Where my North Carolina jersey at?
Where are my shorts? Get the shorts out.
Yeah, get the shorts out, Bugs.
All right. Well, hey, I think that's enough to get us going. Are you ready to give and go?
Yeah, man. Let's give and go.
Give and go.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Raj. We back in the booth with Jordan Taylor. Jordan, what's good?
Hey, yo, Raj. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm a little under the weather, not gonna lie, but I'm here talking ball. I'm out in Vancouver. The sun is shining, so I can't complain, man.
You had too much kombucha last night?
Oh, man.
Party time with the kombucha bottle?
Oh, man. Whole Foods had a 2-for-1 special. It was wild, man.
They shouldn't be allowed to sell that on shelves, man. You're going to get children involved with kombucha and you're going to get gut rot. Oh, my God.
Yo, it's good for you. Come on, man. Come on.
Whatever you were drinking last night was awful.
It was vanilla oak, Jordan. Come on. I want y'all, if y'all listen to this, hit us up in our comments. Let us know what you think of kombucha. You a fan? You not a fan?
If someone gave me a liquid and the title of the liquid was vanilla oak,
kombucha,
regardless if it was kombucha or juice or whatever it was, I would not drink it. It sounds like a coffee or a tea, man.
What is wrong with coffee and tea?
It's not kombucha, that's why.
Come on, man. Alright, let us know in our comments. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think about kombucha. If you want that, is it your type? Do you believe the hype, or is it not your type? Let us know, man.
Today on the Give and Go podcast, we've been off with sound waves for a little bit. We're going to be catching up on a little bit of the news that's going back and forth in the month of March. A lot of teams getting ready for playoffs. Some teams are not. That includes, very surprisingly, the Los Angeles Lakers will be doing a State of the Union address. Not to mention another non-playoff team, the Atlanta Hawks, and their explosive young rookie, Trae Young, coming onto the scene very late in the game here and talk about his impact for that team. Finishing off, we're going to check in. Raj has got a conspiracy theory for y'all.
That's right.
He thinks the Zion Williamson Shoe scandal was a little bit more than meets the eye. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're going to get some engineering insight into this situation here. So
that's right.
We'll hit that up a little bit later. But first, Jordan, sad days for the LA Lakers.
Wah, wah, wah.
This is the official State of the Union address for the Los Angeles Lakers, who are essentially eliminated from the playoff picture. LeBron James looks like he's given up on this team. He looks depressed. He looks beaten down. He looks sorry. He looks like he wished he stayed in Cleveland, is what he looks like. This team has now just lost 2 of their 3 best young players for the rest of the season. Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram have been announced that they're out for the remainder of the season. You've also got Kuzma that's currently out as well. Ingram has actually some issues with blood clotting, which I was reading about this morning, which could become a much more serious issue, and also affect his trade value this summer when they're trying to add more stars to play alongside LeBron James.
I don't think this, what is it, NVT? Some neurosis via thorax? I don't know what
I'm
it
no
is.
medical professional.
It is, sounds like blood clotting, but sounds like, I don't know if Lakers are playing this off purposely or because it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of some issues, but it doesn't sound like it's like a Chris Bosh blood clotting issue.
Well, no, it is though. That's the latest thing that I heard is that DVT, so is what the injury is called. Some people randomly get a DVT, take blood thinning meds for a few months, and then they're fine for life. But if he develops a second blood clot, he'd need to be on blood thinners for a long time and long term, and he could potentially end his career, which is what happened to Chris Bosh.
Wow.
So this is more than your simple random injury. This is potentially career threatening. So this is not a good look for the LA Lakers, who now sit in 10th place in the Western Conference.
11th place at 30-36. Their last 10 games, they're 2-8, and they have recently just lost 5 in a row. Now, let's not count the Lakers out just yet. We don't see an E next to them on the NBA.com website. They have not been officially eliminated. However, they are now over 7 games back from the 8th place Spurs. with both the Kings and the Timberwolves ahead of them. We've only got, 20 games left? Maybe less than some 20 games for people? You're right. This is going to be... I don't think there's anyone who has 20 games. You're right. Less than 20 games. This is going to be an extremely impossible challenge that I do not think they will be able to be addressing this year. They are not going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they're making the playoffs either. This is and people bring to the fact that, they were in 4th place when they had LeBron James, earlier on in the season. But a lot has changed, Jordan, and as the season's progressed, they're only 24-21 with LeBron James in the lineup. So it's not like they're just absolutely destroying teams here. Actually, after last night's game, they're about 24-22 with LeBron James in the lineup. So
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Lonzo Ball has actually been a positive influence on this team with LeBron there. Without Lonzo, and you know what, I'm going to say it right here, I think Lonzo's a defensive stud.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he does on the court, not on the stat sheet, is huge for the Lakers. And their defensive efficiencies were skyrocket higher than what they are now without him.
Yeah, nobody believed LeVar Ball when he said that his son is the reason why the Lakers are going to be doing so well and why they're succeeding. But it's becoming more and more evident that this team needs Lonzo Ball for his playmaking, his ball movement, his shooting, actually, which has actually become pretty decent this season.
I mean, I don't want to take LeVar Ball's words to heart here, guys. It's not that with Lonzo, the Lakers are going to win, because we obviously saw that last year. That didn't happen. But with LeBron and Lonzo, I think that was a little bit of a better team than what we all thought it was going to be.
Yeah, totally, man. And LeBron even said, he really enjoys playing with Lonzo. And, do you think that this is all due, like the recent struggles of the Lakers is due to the fact that, I don't know, LeBron James basically was out in public trying to trade half his team for Anthony Davis? That's got to come back to, and these players, they got to think, like, the whole deadline, all they heard was, we're being dealt. And then nothing happened because the Pelicans pulled a fast one over the Lakers and kept Anthony Davis past the deadline, which is a whole other mess unto itself. That's a whole other mess.
Disagree. The trade deadline is such a crazy time to try and get stuff done. Very challenging in order to have a successful trade deadline. There hasn't been a lot of franchise-altering trades that have happened there. You know where the franchise-altering trades happen? During the off-season, when you've got 2 to 3 months to sit down with another team and hash out the details. That's where the benefit really happens. So I don't think that New Orleans made a mistake there. And it looks like they definitely didn't now with this Brandon Ingram issue. And I mean,
if they can deal Davis to the Celtics or somebody else for a more lucrative package now, they've basically seen what this young Lakers core can do, and it's not that positive, if I'm being completely honest.
It's really, that's the thing. It's super surprising that Dell Demps did not trade Davis at the deadline. But now, when you think about it, what we're seeing from the people they would have gotten, the pieces injured, career-threatening injuries. I think he did a good job standing pat, and he got fired for it now.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? I think Magic Johnson should be on the hot seat more so than Dell Demps was, because he made some very terrible decisions here. He's been tampering the whole season long. He gave away their only young, good big man in Zubac at the deadline, who is showing some great promise, for Mike Muscala, who has been completely out of the rotation. They just gave away that young asset. That's very poor asset management. And now they're looking like all of their assets are worth a lot less than they were just a month or two ago. Now they also have turmoil in the locker room. People don't trust the coach. They don't trust LeBron. They don't trust Magic.
I don't think there's turmoil in the locker room from a player-to-player perspective.
Well, you saw Rondo. He was literally last night, he was sitting away from the rest of the team on the bench. He was sitting in the stands. He didn't want to be around the rest of the guys.
Yeah, okay, so that's one guy who we know has a history of doing that on teams when they are not successful, i.e. not the Boston Celtics in 2008. So, what do you want to do? Blame the guy for being like, how the hell am I on this team when we're losing so much?
Oh, man. I feel bad for Rondo.
I don't.
I feel bad for Lance.
I don't.
Too bad for JaVale.
Okay, I feel a little bit for JaVale, man. I feel like that guy, for some reason is in Luke Walton's doghouse, yet he's a starter, but he's not seen more than 20 minutes a night. And then at the meantime, everybody else is getting shut down for the remainder of the season. LeBron's on minutes restriction now. So, JaVale's not even getting any more minutes with all these other things. They're opening it up for these rookie G League players, which is just going to make them tank even further down.
Do you think Luke is to blame here? Look at the lineups he was running at the, before these recent set of injuries. He was playing Kuzma at center.
Yep.
He had Kyle Kuzma, a poor defender on the wing as it is, as a center to protect your rim and play defense.
You can be a bad wing defender and you can be a better centerpiece.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't. So I'm not saying they're related, but Kuzma is not your answer for defense.
No, he's not. And he's your second best player. Do you really want him to be getting all that extra strain on his body, having to guard big, bulky centers out west?
Well, I don't think there's that many of them anymore.
Well, there is now. You got Karl Anthony Towns, Jokic, Gobert, Capella. You look at the top of the West, everybody's got some big centers now, man.
I wouldn't call them big. Like, when I think of big, I think of, Arvydas Sabonis big. Like, guys built like Cam
Well, nobody's built like that in the NBA anymore. But if you compare, everybody's got a big center. Like, look at the top. You got Boogie Cousins in Golden State.
Yeah, Boogie, yeah.
Second, you got Jokic. Third place, you got Steven Adams. And then you got Nurkic. And then you got Gobert. And then you got Capella. Every single team at the top, they've got big, bulky centers. And if you're going to throw your young 20-year-old Kyle Kuzma at these big centers, you're just asking for him to get injured. Do you think it's a lock that Luke Walton is fired at the end of the season?
Absolutely. I don't think Luke Walton is going to last through the summer. I don't think many of LeBron's new coaches, other than Eric Spoelstra, have survived the first year of him going to the team.
Yeah. Well, he even tried to get Eric Spoelstra fired.
Well, yeah, at the beginning he did. LeBron was trying to do what he needed to do in order to secure the victory of him coaching and managing the team.
Yeah, well, that's what he does, man. Like, LeBron is, as you were saying, the player, coach, GM, superstar, all put into one, Like you mentioned, there's a history of this, right?
I'm just looking this up now, he's had 7 coaches. He's had 2 obviously within two within the return to Cleveland, 1 with LA, 1 with Miami, and 3 other ones
at the early stages of his career.
In his original stint in Cleveland. You're the best player in the world, and you got 3 other dudes fired.
Yeah, that's what this is what he does. This is the LeBron James process. He comes in there, assesses for a year, gets rid of the head coach, and brings in his own guy. That's just how this works.
So who's available to replace him? Do we call Tyronn Lue back? David Blatt? Like what do we?
Yeah, Mark Jackson. Maybe Mark Jackson gets another chance as a coach in the league.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot about Jeff Van Gundy talking about making a return. Or do they make a trade, kind of like how Boston did with Doc Rivers, and give up a pick to get a good coach? It's challenging. Do the Lakers really need a good coach? I think they don't. I think they need a scapegoat. And that's what they've gotten with Luke Walton.
They have that scapegoat. Now they can blame this season on him.
Yep.
And then move forward next season with LeBron's own hand-picked coach. Man, if I was Tyronn Lue, I don't even know if I'd want to jump in on something like this.
No.
An interesting thing to watch, though, would be their assistant coach, Brian Shaw. If you pay attention, he's been, when LeBron James is off on the sidelines, he's not talking to Coach Luke Walton. He's chatting with Brian Shaw. So, would be interesting if you saw a similar promotion like you had in Cleveland, where they brought Tyronn Lue up to head coach from assistant. If Luke Walton's fired and they promote Brian Shaw to the head coach, who has previously coached with the Denver Nuggets, wasn't really given a fair shot there, and now he's here with the Lakers. So
he was part of a rebuilding Denver Nuggets team.
He was.
So that's not really fair to say he wasn't given a shot. The team that he was given was not successful, by any means. They had a lot of injuries. I mean, it is what it is. But Shaw is not your savior either. I don't think Shaw coming in there as a coach is going to elevate this team into a playoff position next year with the personnel they have.
Well, they need to make changes. They got to sign. If they strike out in free agency, this is it. That's it. Then maybe you look at, like something Jeff Van Gundy said this morning, maybe you look at trading LeBron James this offseason. I know it's unheard of, but if you're not going anywhere and you're wasting LeBron years and you should rebuild, that might be the better route to go. So we'll see what happens.
Do you really think that the Lakers are going to rebuild?
Well, they're rebuilding right now.
No, they've decided that this year wasn't their year and they're going to reset and rebuild. But they're not going to rebuild next year. And they're not going to try and rebuild after. They're going to keep trying to push for this. I mean, we're looking at the standings right now. They're closer to the second last place Grizzlies. They're only 3 games ahead of them than they are getting to the playoffs. So if they just play all these G League players right now, they have a very good chance and very high pick.
Stop trying for Zion.
Trying for Zion,
yeah,
man. Maybe
stop trying for Zion.
I think that's what they're trying to think they're going to do.
Interesting take. Well, it'll be interesting to see if LeBron gets shut down here in the coming weeks just to rest his body. And
he's on the minutes limit. I don't think they'll shut him down. He's on the minutes limit.
Well, this is weird for him. He's used to playing meaningful games at this point of the season or getting ready to gear up for a playoff run. So
I think this will be good for him. I think his body has been ravaged by this. It would be nice to see him take a summer off.
8 straight NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And now he's not even in the play. This is weird. This is a weird year. I can't even imagine a playoffs without LeBron James.
I'm happy. I hate him. And I hate him because of how good he is and how he's just taken every good teams, the Indianas of prior, the original OKC Big Three, and just said, oh yeah, and Boston, and the true original Big Three of the early 2000 era, Boston, and went, no, y'all need to break up because y'all can't beat me right now.
Allen Pierce and Garnett.
That's right.
Yeah, that was probably one of his biggest rivals was that Paul Pierce team.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Jordan. That's enough with the Lakers.
No more Lakers.
Let's move on. We've spent more than half the pod talking about the LA Lakers.
Rightfully so.
That's
LeBron
right.
James.
LeBron, that's right. But another dude that's been making headlines this week, Ice Trae Young, out in Atlanta.
Can I just say that I love that name?
That is
Ice
amazing.
Trae,
That's probably one of the best nicknames in the entire NBA right now. Ice Trae.
I mean, yeah, it's just very fitting. And yeah, it works
Man, so all this potential, all the shots in Summer League that he was missing, and people were saying he's throwing up ill-advised shots from the logo, pulling up from Steph Curry range and beyond. Well, Jordan, it turns out that he can hit those shots. And he's been hitting those shots. He had a 49-point game last week. He's been, he just had a triple-double.
First triple-double in Atlanta Hawks rookie history.
Yeah. Ice Trae, the gang. He is lighting it up. And, he's reigniting the Rookie of the Year talks.
He is. He absolutely is. Trae Young averaging over 19 points a game, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1.5 threes, playing just a shade under 27 minutes a game right now for the lowly Atlanta Hawks. And yeah, his numbers haven't been there efficiency-wise, but from the bulk load of things that he's doing, they are impressive. For a guy that size and his ability to shoot the basketball, I mean, he's still shooting 40% from the field overall this season. His numbers have gone down over the last 7 games.
But he's averaging 18 and 8 over the season, on this Atlanta team.
For a team, like you said, for a guy that was missing every shot in the Summer League, for him to finally figure it out and come over, I think that's really impressive. But the one thing I want to ask you is this the case of the Tyreek Evans rookie? Where you've just got a guy on a bad team, and he's got all the minutes, he's got all the green lights in the world, so he can just show up all of these and hit all these great shots. Michael Carter-Williams. That's the better one.
Yeah,
for
the
you.
Michael Carter-Williams.
It's a very similar line to Michael Carter-Williams, other than the three-point shot.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think just that constant threat. Some players have this gravity about them. They just attract attention when they're on the court. And I think Trae Young is one of these guys that he's just got this gravitational pull. When he's on the court, you watch for him. You look where he is. You make sure you don't let him get a shot off because people know he's going to be pulling up from these deep, deep threes. And so that extra attention, that pulling the defender out, an extra couple feet this way or a couple feet that way, it makes a big difference on the basketball court. And I see this carrying on, Jordan.
You don't think this is a Michael Carter-Williams flash in the pan situation?
I don't think he's a flash in the pan. I think he's got enough motivation. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And he's out here to prove that he is just as good, if not better, than Luka Doncic, who he was traded for at draft night. It's interesting because these two players now, they're going to be linked. They're going to be linked for the rest of their careers. And everyone's going to be tracking how far ahead is Luka, how far ahead is Trae. And you know me, I'm the biggest Luka Doncic stan. I love Luka Doncic.
I know, you're big on Luka right now. I mean,
I was big on him before the season started, Jordan.
I wasn't sold. You know me, it took me, 6 months to get on the Luka bandwagon? It took a long time.
But you admitted he should have been an all-star this year.
I think
He did. I think he should have been an all-star as well with the way he was playing.
I think he had a lot of hype. Atlanta being 22-45, 3 of 7 in their last 10. Dallas 27-38. They're not that different. They're both kind of at the bottom of the pool right now. So I think Atlanta won this trade because now they've got a guy who's playing quite well. Seems to be more efficient than we actually thought he was going to be.
Yep.
And they've got Dallas's first round pick next year, if it isn't top 5 protected, which we just looked up. So there could be a chance that Dallas does fall out of that top 5.
Totally.
And they get a first overall 6 pick and their own pick.
So, okay, if you're put on the spot today, you got to make a decision, Jordan. Who's your rookie of the year? Is it Trae Young or is it Luka Doncic?
It's still Doncic. And it's still Doncic because of what he brings to the NBA from a stage level performance. The guy's ability is James Harden level game changing. That step back 3 that he's implemented in his game, people are already starting to try and copy it. Because James Harden's got one. Well, I think Luka's got one that's way smoother.
It's way smoother and it's not a travel.
It's not a travel.
It is a legal step back that he has mastered, and he's been doing it since he was 16, 17 years old, playing in the EuroLeague.
Lethal step back.
So it's amazing, and he's still putting up 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5.5 assists.
So those numbers are better than Trae's. Trae is coming on hot now, which is fun to watch, but I don't think anything Trae does for the rest of the season in 20 games is going to change my mind that Luka is not the MVP. Because Luka hasn't slowed down. Luka is still producing at those same numbers. Trae's just finally matched the numbers that he's producing.
Yes. Trae's now matched him, whereas, like you said, Luka's been doing it for the year.
Since game 1.
Yeah.
Since game 1.
Since he stepped on that court, and he's actually had already multiple triple-doubles. As we noted, Trae had his first one this last night, or 2 nights ago.
That's right.
And Luka's already had 2 or 3 of them in his bag, including being, I believe, the youngest triple-double in NBA history as well, or second youngest behind is it Lonzo or LeBron? It was one of the two. So
I don't know if Lonzo had the youngest triple-double.
He was up there. He was up there. So,
good company.
Yeah,
good company.
Definitely good company. So, Jordan, let's kind of go on to our last topic of discussion for the podcast. We want to talk some college hoops. It's March Madness is just around the corner.
Getting excited for March Madness.
That's right. Don't forget to fill out your brackets if you haven't already done so.
Oh, I gotta do that still.
Yeah, I gotta get my bracket challenge out. If anybody needs a link to a bracket challenge, we got one through Okanagan College in Kelowna.
Oh yeah, your Kelowna one. That's right.
That's right, man. It's a $25 drop-in, or a $25 fee. $25 fee, and you get a free large pizza with the ticket.
Where the pizza from, though?
That's Papa John's.
Papa John's.
You get a free large Papa John's pizza along with the $25, and you get a chance to win $1,000.
How many toppings do I get?
I don't know, man.
So I'm just trying to put the math
I
together.
don't buy pizza.
So I'm paying for a $25 pizza and a ticket that might win me $1,000.
That's right. That's right. Hey, but if you got confidence in your ability to pick a March Madness NCAA team, then you could win.
I could just buy 2 pizzas for $25 and be just as happy.
Then you're not gambling, Jordan. Come on, man.
Yeah.
All right, okay. But if you were to pick a team, the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
They've been in the news quite a bit, and rightfully so. They've got potentially 3 of the top 5 draft picks in this upcoming NBA draft on their roster. And Cam Reddish, Rowan Barrett Jr., and also Zion Williamson, who is the talk of the town. Zion last week had a little bit of an injury.
Was it last week? A couple weeks ago?
Maybe a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
He had an injury, so Zion was wearing Paul George's Nike sneakers, and he went to go make a routine jab step, it looked like, basically, and he went and just stepped with his right foot, and his foot busted through the shoe. It absolutely destroyed the shoe. He ended up hurting himself. I think he suffered a leg injury.
He had a mild knee sprain, and he hasn't played since. So that's almost 2 weeks now, no basketball for Zion, with a very important playoff tournament coming up.
Exactly. But now this is the question that's been going around NBA circles for the last couple of weeks. Does Zion even return? Should he even play another game in college basketball, knowing that it could potentially hurt him in his NBA stock if he were to suffer another injury and potentially not become the first overall pick again?
If Zion doesn't play for the rest of the season, if you're a general manager in the NBA, would you still pick him first overall?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't make any sense for him to play from a financial standpoint for his future. However, if you are cleared medically and your knee injury is just a sprain as what they're talking about, and you feel good and everything's good to go and you want to go play again, I think that's in his right that he should go play.
Yep.
Does he need to do it for the team? No, he should be doing it for himself. And I mean, that's a lot of the arguments that have been coming about this.
He's a competitor. He's got to be a competitor. He's got to show his competitive spirit and play through it and actually try and maybe win the NCAA championship. Win March Madness. And go on a high note into the NBA draft this offseason. But like you mentioned, financially it doesn't make a lot of sense for him to do that.
No.
Now another company that kind of took a hit through this whole thing was Nike and Paul George, because Zion Williamson was wearing their shoe, which malfunctioned. And
so that's a good word for it, malfunction.
Yes, and his foot ripped through the shoe. Now, we talked about conspiracy theory Raj earlier on in the pod. And he's here. Jordan. From what I'm hearing, and I want to get your structural and your engineering opinion on this.
So first off, not an engineer, not structural, so you're 0 for 2.
You're an engineer in training.
That's right, of mechanical things.
Because you're lazy and you're not trying to get your fill out your PNG application.
Disagree. I'm a very busy man. A lot of podcasts to talk.
Yeah, okay. So you'll fill out your PNG application and become a PNG, and then you can call yourself an engineer.
All right. True statement. 1 for 3. Okay.
And you want to work for Nike as a shoe engineer.
Wanted to work for Nike.
Yes.
Keyword past tense.
Past tense. It'd be
not
a dream.
Anymore.
It'd be a dream.
Their stock went down 1% from this whole thing.
Okay, but designing shoes as an engineer would be a pretty ideal situation.
I mean, if someone did come up to me with that sort of job application, I wouldn't think twice about taking it. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
shout out to all my sneakerheads. I know you're out there, man. Get those dream jobs designing shoes.
So now that we have established that you are qualified to speak on this issue, after beating around the bush for 10 minutes, Jordan, do you think the reason why Zion's shoe failed and malfunctioned is because he was wearing a guard shoe? He's wearing the Paul George sneaker, which is designed for guards, and he wasn't wearing a more bulky shoe, which, something like a LeBron James prototype or a LeBron James sneaker Do you think that is the reason why it failed? Because a man of Zion's size, who's what, like 6'8" and like 285, an absolute truck of a human being. Do you think that is why his sneaker failed? Because he wasn't wearing a sneaker that's designed for his body?
So a couple things there. I don't know any sneaker company that's designing sneakers for a man of Zion's body.
Okay.
6'8", 280, yeah.
He's even bigger than LeBron, who's thought to be the ultimate, like, tank human being.
Specimen.
Yeah.
Specimen of just pure athleticism.
Yeah, a pure physical specimen.
So no, I disagree with the fact that we want to say that Paul George is a guard shoe, first off, because it's really a combo. Paul George is a combo, guys.
Okay.
He's a forward with guard tendencies. However, saying what kind of shoe would you want Zion to be wearing then?
Well, like a LeBron James
You
sneaker.
want the Zoom Soldiers from a couple years ago that were 40 pounds on your feet?
Yeah, well, maybe he needs those to support his feet and support his body type.
So
I've tried on those sneakers. Now, I've bought basketball shoes. I buy basketball shoes. And when I put on the LeBron James sneakers, I felt like I should be in the post. I was like, whoa, these are weighing me down. If I'm trying to move fast on the court, which, maybe not so much anymore, but if I'm trying to move around like a guard, the LeBron James shoe is probably not for me. But another sneaker like the Paul George or like, a Westbrook model, like that might be more ideal for my playing style. So wouldn't you agree that a more bulky shoe like a LeBron James type of sneaker would be more beneficial for Zion and prevent injuries and issues like this in the future?
this was a jab step.
Yeah.
This was a jab step. This was not an aggressive move. If you look at the photo, and I got it pulled up here right now, take a look at this photo. Where did the break happen? Did it happen where the midsole connects to the actual seam of the top portion? No, it's from the bottom connecting to the midsole. And all that's connecting that together is glue. Maybe there's some stitching in there. I'd have to take another look at how this shoe is made. But this was a manufacturing defect. This was not a defect from Zion's size or ability.
So you think this is a one-off type of situation that won't happen again?
Disagree. All I'm saying is that these shoes are made in another country. We do know that there's a lot of talk about Nike and how they operate with their factories and their facilities. All the jokes about, child labor laws and everything in their factories in these other parts of the world. Who knows what kind of quality check or quality assurance these things are going through. And we've just seen one incident. It's been very rare that we've seen shoes like this blow out. And I want to bring you back to something is I got a pair of CP3 4s. I was so happy. It was my senior year of high school. Got them from East Bay. So excited to rep these flashy things. And in the first practice I wore them, I was doing defensive shuttle drills, and I blew through the side of them. Just like that. And I am not a 6'8", 280-pound guy.
Absolutely not. Maybe half that.
Maybe a quarter of that, man. So this is this thing that happens where it's a defect. Sometimes those shoes, there's going to be something missed, and there's going to be... Luckily, for me, there wasn't a major injury, but for Zion, there was. And that's unfortunate because he's a high-profile athlete.
Yep.
So you're telling me you've never had a shoe blow on you?
Never.
Never.
Well, actually, you know what? I bought an old pair of Shaq shoes way back in the day to play outdoor basketball in. And like you had mentioned, after a year and a half of running with these shoes on outdoor, concrete courts, I actually also blew through my shoe in a defensive stance when I was trying to run and shuffle my feet. So, you know what? Maybe we got to the bottom of this issue here. Maybe it's not an issue with the shoe or that design of the shoe. This could just be an issue with manufacturing.
I really, that is my non-engineering opinion. I mean, the fact that it broke through the portion that's the midsole connected to the bottom and not the toe vamp, that to me is manufacturing, not the pure strength and size. Because the weakest part of the shoe is the weakest connection, which is that thin, light layer of woven fabric that they've been doing, the fly wire or the mesh connected to the actual hard portion. That's what's going to see the most stress, and that would break under fatigue if you had to test this shoe.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've given you that information here at the Give and Go podcast. And now I want you to go do something with it. So let us know in the comments, man. Let us know what y'all think. Was this a design issue? Was this an issue with a one-off situation with manufacturing and how the shoe was actually built? Let us know, man. But Jordan, that's all the time we have today in our pod.
Nike let Zion Williamson's shoe blow so that they could lower the NBA age limit and sign athletes for more money at younger.
No, so we ended off with another conspiracy.
That's the conspiracy you want to hear about today.
Yo, we'll talk about that on the next pod. But let's wrap things up, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. This has been another fabulous episode of the Give and Go podcast. Don't forget, you can find us wherever your favorite social media platform is utilized. You can find us at Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud. We even got YouTube now at Give the letter N Go Podcast. Remember, you can find our podcast on iTunes or on Google Play Store, wherever your favorite podcasts are heard, including Podcast Addict. Now remember, kids, we've given you the information. Now go do something with it. Give and go.
And we out.